Good evening, guests and fellow Toastmasters. A warm welcome to the meeting 2:30 of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. I am Toastmaster Akansha, your sergeant at arms for the day. I'm sure you're as excited as I am for this exclusive meeting. The meeting will be blocked for 2 hours from 4 to 6 pm, and you are expected to stay for the entire duration. I would like to begin by stating the mission of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. Before we start, I would like to share some ground rules. Keep your cell phones on silent mode or switched off during the meeting. I will give you 10 seconds to do that. Please keep your microphone on mute when someone is speaking and unmute only when called to speak. It is advised to keep the videos on so we have an interactive meeting, and please be mindful if you are moving out of the frame, please turn off your video to reduce the distraction. Please avoid sharing anything on the chat box while someone is speaking, as that can distract the speaker and the role taker. Avoid sharing anything on screen while speaker is on stage. Do not interject the speaker while they are delivering their speech or report. Regarding the topics of sex, religion, and politics, even though Toastmaster International does not put any restriction on speaking on these topics, at Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, we request all speakers and role takers to be mindful and responsible and abstain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. I also urge you to be cognizant of the fact that we, as a club, practice diversity and inclusion in letter and spirit, hence ensuring there are no sexist, racist, or any such undertones that create hostility and discomfort for members or guests. Lastly, let me now call upon our presiding officer, Toastmaster Nikhil. He hails from Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh, working as an investment banker in Delhi. He loves to watch cricket, football, and listen to music. Over to you, Toastmaster Nikhil.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Akansha, for kicking off this meeting. And I would request all of you to please give her a big round of applause. So I am Nikhil Yadav, and on behalf of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, I would like to welcome you all to our 230th meeting. And I'm really glad that you all could take out time and be a part of this meeting. So obviously, we are all here as part of Toastmasters International, and as the mission of Toastmasters International goes, we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. And as Toastmaster Kansha probably already mentioned, at level, we strive to provide positive learning experience where every member has the opportunity to grow, speak, and lead with confidence. So just like any other meeting, this meeting is also going to be a step forward for all of us, wherein we would get opportunity to overcome our probably public speaking fears, overcome our anxieties, and try to organize our thoughts and learn from each other, obviously. And I think that is something that I personally hold very close to my heart as a the very culture of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. I would say that we focus a lot on learning from each other and supporting each other, be it learning from new members or be it learning from seasoned Toastmasters, like we have Toastmaster Priya today with us. So before we move forward, I would just go through the participants list and see if we have any new guests. And so we do not have any guests per se. So I'll skip the guest introduction part and quickly move forward to the meeting. And before we deep dive into the ocean of speeches, evaluations, and all, uh, I would like to hand over the stage to our Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting. That also happens to be Toastmaster Nikhil Yadav, that is me. So from here onwards, I would be taking forward this meeting as the Toastmaster of the day. And the theme for today's meeting, my friends, is the power of compounding, right? So anyone here who would like to share as to what is power of compounding? Just unmute yourself and probably one or two lines, whatever you feel like. My gosh, no one really?
Uh, I would like to go.
Yes, yes, please.
So for me, compounding, where I heard that word was in the maths textbook, the compound interest part, in which you get the interest on the interest. So basically, it's multiplying. The interest is also multiplying. So I have heard it in that way.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So, as Toastmaster Kansha mentioned, whenever we speak of power of compounding or compounding per se, we often associate it with mathematics, obviously, or in even more general terms, we think of it as related to money or finance or investments, right? Wherein you invest a little uh, consistently, and over time it grows into something much bigger, much significant, right? But obviously, there is a lot of importance of compounding in investments. But today, I want to talk about compounding and the aspect of compounding beyond finances, right? So, what I want us to explore today is how compounding works, not in finance or investment, but in relationships, right? And the motive is to reflect on how this compounding shapes our relationships, uh, our connections, and you know, make them such an important part of our lives, right? So, bef before I deep dive into this concept, I would, although we do not have any guests, but for the, you know, I would still like to reiterate the structure of our meeting. And so obviously this meeting is going to be divided into three segments. First is going to be the prepared speech section, wherein the prepared speaker, that is Toastmaster Jayesh, will be delivering his speech as per the objective of his pathway. And the speech would be of 5 to 7 minutes, which would be evaluated in that. Sorry. So after the prepared speech section, next up we would be having the table topic section, wherein our table topic master, Toastmaster Suraj, would be taking us on a journey of some impromptu speeches, wherein he would be calling up the participants and giving them a topic on the go on which they will have to speak for approximately 2 minutes. Third up would be the evaluation segment, wherein our evaluators, led by our general evaluator, Toastmaster Priya, would evaluate all the speeches and the conduct of the meeting as a whole. So that is the structure of our typical Toastmasters meeting. And before I call Toastmaster Priya to introduce her tag team that would be assisting her in the evaluation today, I would like to go back to my theme and maybe ask you all as to, what do you think when I speak of compounding in relationships, what impression or what is your understanding of this, the power of compounding in relationships? So I obviously have a lot to share, but I just want to, so that now that I have kind of pulled the cover over what I'm going to talk about, just want to understand as to what is your uh, uh, on the face value of it, what is your understanding of compounding in relationships? Anyone, please? Okay, yes, Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. According to me, when you talk about compounding in relationships, no relationship gets built overnight. It takes a lot of consistent efforts from both the parties to work on the relationship to take it to another level. So, whether it is personal relationships within family, corporate relationships, or networking and relationships in a club like Toastmasters, it is a compounded effort that gives growth, gives better results, and better relationships. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priya. And that is exactly what I wanted to hear and what I wanted to uh, share myself. So every relationship, as you said, in life, be it with family, be it with friends, be it with colleagues, it is built not through a grand event or a single big moment, but many small moments that combine together to build these relationships. For example, say someone joins a new job and the very first day, all they get is, some formal handshakes, but gradually every single day then it moves to you know good mornings or um, how are you kind of conversations. Then slowly you start building upon those, and somewhere you identify, or probably by the virtue of your work, by the virtue of your networking skills, you get to know people throughout the organization, and gradually it moves to hanging out with them. It moves to taking help from them or helping them, learning from them. So after probably a month or so, you realize, you identify a few people that you can call your friend. So obviously it's a process that needs a lot of consistent efforts, and these efforts may seem very tiny, very insignificant in the in its individuality, but when combined together and when done consistently, these create the trust that lays the foundation for any relationship. So that is the power of compounding in relationships. And just like in investing, consistency is paramount, and you don't need grand gestures, like say for example, if you have a girlfriend or if a boyfriend, it's not like every day you have to gift them something. So, for example, on some days, even if you give them a rose, it's enough. And on some days, even if you just call them or tell them, I miss you, that also plays a big part. So it's not about grand gestures, it's all about tiny moments, it's all about tiny gestures. And so yes, that is was what's power of compounding in relationship. However, I want to touch up of on another aspect of this compounding, to which I would come later. And before that, I would like to call up on stage our general evaluator for today's meeting, who would be introducing her tag team and help us understand her role and as well as her team's role. So, general evaluator for today's meeting is Toastmaster Priya Singh. She is a marketing professional and business management academician. With a deep passion of creative writing, poetry, and purposeful service, she channels her love for poetic expression through her podcast, Soulful Scrolls. She joined Toastmasters driven by her desire to enhance her public speaking skills and grow as an influential voice to make a positive difference and inspire others. With that, I would like to hand over the stage to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Nikhil, for that warm introduction. Well, today, as the general evaluator, my role is to observe the meeting as a whole, to observe each role, each speech, and each contribution that will add up to our collective growth. Just like compounding, every small improvement that we make today will definitely multiply with greater confidence and skills in each of us tomorrow. I will be noting what went well in the meeting, where we can improve, because evaluation is the process that will eventually transform and take our efforts into further progress and further growth. And to help me in that mammoth task, I would like to introduce our team of skill and role takers. The first being our timer. Toastmaster Akanksha is the guardian of the seconds and the minutes in today's meeting. Just like compounding turns small units of time into big outcomes, Toastmaster Akanksha will ensure every speaker uses his time wisely, helping us understand the importance of time and discipline in maintaining that time. Toastmaster Akanksha is born and brought up in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, completed her graduation from Saraswati Dental College. She's currently pursuing her MBA at STA Bocconi Asia Center. Before commencing her MBA program, she worked as a marketing executive at SK Awadh Builders. Apart from academics, she has a passion for singing, makeup artistry, and NGO volunteering. Over to you, Toastmaster Akanksha, to take us through your role.
Greetings, Madam General Evaluator. Good evening again, fellow Toastmasters. As timer, I will time the table topics, speaker, formal speeches, and the evaluation. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to not more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will show the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will show the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will show the red card. Speakers giving prepared speeches should limit their remarks to the specific speech limit, which should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. As there is no icebreaker speech today, so I will give you the normal timing. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, yellow card. And at 7 minutes, red card. The individual evaluator should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will show the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will show the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will show the red card. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akanksha, for mentioning your role. I'd just like to add one small point here, that in case of the speakers, you have a grace period of 30 seconds at the beginning and at the end of your speech. That is 4 minutes, 30 seconds to qualify and 7 minutes, 30 seconds to end your speech. And for table topic speakers, you have a 30 minutes grace period at the end of your time. That is 3 minutes, 30 seconds is the maximum you can speak. So with that, I would like to now proceed to our next role taker, our grammarian. Toastmaster Smriti Sagrika Mohanty has been gracious enough to take up this role as a grammarian at the last minute. Thank you so much for that. She is going to be our language architect, and each new word, each refined sentence, you would all agree, is a small deposit that compounds into making our communication more impactful and adding to our vocabularies and making us better speakers. Smriti, Toastmaster Smriti is a certified soft skills trainer, mentorship specialist, training content creator, and a seasoned B2B enterprise sales professional with over a decade of experience. Her Toastmasters journey reflects leadership with purpose, serving in key leadership roles at club executive level and district level as club mentor, club coach, and past distinguished area director. Her leadership and learning go hand in hand. She has completed numerous pathways, and if I'm not mistaken, now she's pursuing her 6th pathway, right, Smriti? And she has excelled in number of podium finishes at the division, district, area level contest at Toastmasters competitions. Let me welcome our grammarian for today, Toastmaster Smriti Sagrika Mohanty. Over to you for explaining the role. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Well, today it's my honor to be the grammarian of this particular meeting. As a grammarian, it is my key responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers who are going to take the podium. When you speak, ensure you speak in a compounding effect, which is important to touch the audience heart. While you are speaking, I'll try to be mindful, listening to your thought carefully, the word usage, and make a note of the English language. Well, as a grammarian, it is also my key responsibility to bring a word to this particular meeting and encourage the usage of the same. Today, the word is unfettered. Unfettered, which means here un is not and fettered means chained. So somebody who is not chained, someone who is free from restrictions, free from any limitations or constraints. The similar words are liberated, unbranded, or boundless. I'll paste the usage and also the word meaning with pronunciation on chat. While we progress in this particular meeting, let's encourage using the word to the maximum possible extent, because tonight as we need to let our thoughts unfettered so that our voice will be fearless and our ideas can flow limitless. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Smriti, for that crisp explanation of your role. We move further to our next role taker for the Taggle team, that is our counter. Today's our counter is Toastmaster Prerna Dwivedi, who is, as an counter, an awareness builder. She is going to track the tiny filler words and the ahs and ums. She will help us eliminate small distractions over time, transforming us into confident and better fluent speakers. Toastmaster Prerna is a third-year student pursuing Bachelor's of Technology from United Institute of Technology, Prayagraj, a fun-loving girl who loves acting and dancing. She is the president of UGI Toastmasters Club, a Triple Crown winner, and she stood third in humorous speech contest and evaluation speech area contests. She has won many more accolades in acting as well. Over to you, Toastmaster Prerna, to run us through your role.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. A very, I could say, warm good evening to fellow Toastmasters. I am Toastmaster Prerna Dwivedi, and today I'm serving as the accounter. And the purpose of our counter is to note words and sounds that are used like crutch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen the overused words, including and, will, but, so, and you know. I will also listen the filler sounds, including as, and I will note when a speaker repeats the word or phrase such as I, or this means, and I would be giving my report at the end of the meeting when called upon by Madam General Evaluator. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Prerna, for that good introduction about your role. Together, all of us, the entire tag team and myself, will contribute by noting how this meeting has gone and give our report at the end when called upon by the Toastmaster of the day to explain how the meeting went. So back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Nikhil. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator, and to your tag team. May I please request all the participants to please give our General Evaluator and the tag team a big round of applause. Thank you so much to the General Evaluator and her tag team for briefing us about their roles and responsibilities. And before we jump on to the prepared speech section, as I said, I would be trying to highlight the other side of compounding in relationships, and that is just as positive actions build a relationship in a positive manner, negative actions also do the same. So sometimes, you know, say for example, repeatedly ignoring someone or not appreciating someone who has been assisting you or supporting you again and again, taking people for granted. So these are some negative, I would say, installments that compound and over time hamper your relationships that I am sure that almost all of us have experienced in our lives, right? So slowly, silently, they weaken the foundation of our relationships, and before we even know, the relationship is broken, and we end up questioning as to where we went wrong. So I would like to share an incident from my life here. And I have got a friend who's been there in my life for over a decade now. Probably we met in 2011 or so in our hostel when we were living together. And for last 3-4 years, I mean, probably we meet very rarely, probably once in a year or so. But for last 3-4 years, he has turned out to be a very religious guy, and there's a Shakti Peeth, as we call it, in Madhya Pradesh. Uh, the place is called Meher, I think. So the goddess is known as Meher Wali Mata, or goddess Sharda Bhavani. So he believes he has a lot of faith in the Shakti Peeth, and everything that he does before that he goes to the temple. And what there's a very regular practice that he follows, that he shares the pic of the regular that so daily some kind of shringar is okay, Prerna. Okay. So you must be knowing what I'm talking about. So every day, new form of shringar is done on the deity's idol, and every day he shares the pic with me. And this practice, he's been following this practice for over 3 years now. And what happened that I didn't even realize but during probably May last year, he stopped sending those pictures, right? And I didn't even question him. I didn't try to reach out to him to know as to what happened. Months passed, and then eventually he started sharing them again. And I didn't realize as to why he stopped. But last year in December, for some reason, I called him after a long time, and we were just having a chit chat, and there was another friend on the video call, and suddenly he told me that. Uh, it's been a long time you have not connected with me. He was just complaining. I was like, okay, what is it to complain about, And then suddenly he said that I asked him as to how is your family and all, and suddenly he said that one of his brother passed away in May, around May or June. So I completely lost myself there, and I didn't know how to react. And he's been very close. I've been to his family. I went to his wedding a couple of years back, and I know all of them. So his brother was around 35, and he passed away while sleeping due to a cardiac arrest. He has two young daughters, and when he told me, I was so embarrassed that I could not react, and I just hung up and probably called him later in the day and apologized to him as that he brought to my notice that you didn't realize, but I stopped sharing. I never forget to share the photo of the deity with you, but I didn't share those pics for around a month, but you did not even check with me as to what was the reason. that made me feel so ashamed, and it was a very probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. And that is something, that made me realize as to, even if you are not talking to someone regular basis, you can still try to check on them and still try to drop a message to them, because you never know the people who have been so important in your life. Obviously, we all move forward in our lives, but you never know that someone who holds you so closely, you don't know that what he's going through. So from that point of time, I have decided, obviously, it's not like it has brought I completely follow the process, but I try to check on the people that I call friends, I call family, on a regular basis. And even if they do not respond very politely sometimes, or probably try to ignore me, that is also fine. At least I want to save myself from the kind of embarrassment I faced that day. So again, let's move to the next segment, and that is the prepared speech segment. We have one of the new members who delivering his second speech, I think. That is Toastmaster Jayesh. And to evaluate his speech, I would like to call up on stage his evaluator, Toastmaster Sankhya, someone who is known to us, to all of us, but he has been a great friend for me. He has been a great mentor to a lot of us. He has been the face of Division F, and to an extent of District 124 as well, and currently serving as the District Administrative Manager, has served in multiple leadership roles: District Chief Judge, Division Director, Area Director, President, Vice President, and more. And his introduction is something that I never really read from, because it's going to be a long introduction. And so with that, I would like to call upon stage the evaluator for today's speaker, Toastmaster Sankhya. Over to you,
Thank you so
Toastmaster.
much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nikhil, for that introduction, and for again, thank you for taking up and setting the context in such a way. I really am enjoying the theme. Now I'll move to my role as the evaluator. I'll be evaluating the speaker. The speaker today is Toastmaster Jayesh, who will be delivering her level 1 project 2, writing a speech with purpose. The purpose of this project is for the member to present and learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose, and to present a well organized speech on any topic. Timer, please make a note. The timing for the speaker will be 5 to 7 minutes. And before I call Toastmaster Jayesh on the stage, a little about him. He hails from the same place wherein our Toastmaster of the day is coming from, Shahjahanpur. He has been to Vedham Boys School in Dehradun, completed his graduation from University of Delhi, and began his career with BCG, Boston Consulting Group. In 2023, he returned to home to explore greener pastures in his life as to what he wants to do next with his professional experience. Looking forward to hearing your speech, Toastmaster Jayesh. Toastmaster Jayesh, with this I welcome you on the stage. Toastmaster Jayesh, the brain's negativity dominance. Toastmaster Jayesh, the stage is all yours.
Imagine I walk up to you and I give you two options. Option A, you're guaranteed to win 500 rupees. Here, take the money, it's yours. Option B, there's a 50% chance that you get to win 1,000 rupees, and there's a 50% chance you win absolutely nothing. Which option are you going to go for? Option A or option B?
A.
I don't have much time, but most people will take the free money. Option A. Now let me change the situation here. Option A now says you're guaranteed to lose 500 rupees. And option B says there's a 50% chance you lose 1,000 rupees, and there's a 50% chance you lose nothing. Which option will you choose? A sure loss of 500 or a gamble of 1,000? Most people take the chances. Same math, same probabilities, but when it comes to fear of negative outcomes, fear of loss, people think in a different direction. Good evening, Toastmasters. Today, I'm going to talk about why such emotions of threat, fear of loss, negativity, they dominate our minds. Why is it that when you book a flight ticket, you hesitate if you see a plane crash in the news? Why is it that when you buy a product, one bad review of a product will stop you from buying, even if there are 100 good ones? Why is it that one bad argument with your partner overshadows hundreds of loving memories you shared with them? So in order to understand all this, let me introduce you two systems that sit inside our brain and the characteristics of these two systems. So there is system one, which is automatic. It is effortless. It is intuitive. It is emotional even, and it is fast. It is quick. And there is system two, which is slow. It is rational. It is logical. Let me give you an example to help you explain this better. What is 2 plus 2? 4, right? See how easy that was? I mean, that was very quick. That was very automatic and effortless. That was system one kicking in. Now let's try this. What is 17 times 54? You see how you slowed down, how your muscles tensed, how you tried to mobilize your attention to solve it mentally. That was system two kicking in. And there are multiple examples I can give you to help you explain this, the system one and system two better. But in the interest of time, you just need to know that system one is continuously assessing your environment. It is assessing situations as good or bad, monitoring threats or opportunities without you being consciously aware that you are doing these things. And this continuous assessments of our environment dates back to the beginning of human evolution. Imagine a time where our forefathers and our ancestors, when they were hunters and gatherers, they made this continuous assessments of their environment to ensure that they are safe and protected. The less time they took to detect a threat or a predator, the higher the chances they survive long enough to reproduce. So threat was privileged over opportunities. You missed a beautiful sunset, a beautiful opportunity, nothing happened to you. But if you missed hearing those rustling in the bushes, a sign of a possible predator, that might be the end of it. So over time, our brain was wired, our neural mechanisms were wired to give priority to bad news. It said, pay attention to bad things. It matters. Your life matters. So this opened a portal in our brains to give priority to negative emotions. And these sit deep inside our brain, inside our amygdala, which is the processing center for emotions. And it reacts strongly to negativity, threat. Words like crime, violence, danger, discomfort, disagreements, we get emotionally triggered by it. Because of our ancient brain, we get triggered by it. Imagine you read two news headlines, which says, violence erupts in Delhi, protesters, traffic may be slow. Option 2, a tweet like, violence erupts in Delhi, protesters are attacked, chaos everywhere, cars burned. The second news is likely to travel 6 times faster, a study has shown. So negativity trumps positivity. We have established that. But let me give you 3 things that you can do to manage this negativity dominance of our brain. One is you need to label the bias. You need to understand that whenever you're going through a negative feeling, you need to understand that this is overwhelming me. Once you acknowledge it, once you become aware of it, you get rid of its power. So just by acknowledging it, you are letting yourself win over negativity. The second is you need to understand that you need to balance the evidence. Whenever you have a negative thought, think of what are the positive outcomes. Let's say if you're giving a public speech, negative thoughts like, What if I fumble? What if I stammer? What if I forget? What if they don't like me? What if I just blank out? But think about, what if I inspire them? What if I get a standing ovation? What if they are my friends and they're not a threat to me? So balance the positives and the negatives. And the third last thing that I would suggest is, you need to sit with your positive emotions also. Let it sink with you, stay with you a little bit longer. You get that promotion, you get that job, you enter a new relationship. Let that feeling stay with you a little bit longer. Let positivity overwhelm you. Negativity already does. But why not positivity overwhelm me? So in the end, I would just like to say that whenever you are dwelling on a negative thought, whenever you're feeling anxious, whenever you're feeling down, just know that this is your ancient brain trying to protect you, trying to keep you safe. But sometimes you need to understand that growth will begin the moment you stop and don't listen. Thank you.
What a speech by Toastmaster Jayesh. Can I please request everyone to give a bigger round of applause? I could barely see any hands. Congratulations, Toastmaster Jayesh, for delivering such a nice speech. And probably your evaluator would definitely be evaluating and coming up with some recommendations. But I feel I could completely relate to what you said, and irrespective of the fact that we come from the same city. But again, congratulations, Toastmaster Jayesh. So Toastmaster Smriti says your unfettered approach turned your thoughts into a powerful and authentic message today. So whenever someone uses the word of the day, I request everyone to please show a thumbs up or some kind of positive gesture. Okay, so moving ahead with our theme. So the example that I shared with you about my friend, what he was trying to do by sending those regular messages was obviously a positive compounding, right? But I took him for granted. I uh, ignored him to an extent, and that is an example of negative compounding. Say, for example, another example that I have to highlight this is that, obviously I don't want you to share this with my parents as this is getting recorded, but my parents fight a lot. And every time they have a fight, they stop speaking to each other for like 2, 3 days. And all those 2, 3 days are like hell for all of us. Everyone is just sitting in silence and solitude. But so that is again an example of a negative compounding. But then I have someone very close to me, my uncle and auntie, and they also have differences. But I have noticed that they never, extend those arguments or those differences. And once I asked him as to what is the reason that why is it that you guys are so sorted about even if when you have differences, and he told me that no matter how much the bigger the argument is or whatever be the difference in our opinion, we never speak over it. So basically they have this rule that if we have a fight, we have to sort it out before we go to bed. And that, although a very small step, but that goes a long way in building the relationship and probably the mm, close to a perfect couple that I have seen in my life. And again, that highlighted how a negative how negative compounding works and how positive compounding works. And I'm sure you all have faced such instances in your life. And before we move forward to the next segment, I want to open this discussion to all of you and want you to share your uh, perceptions or your examples of positive compounding from your lives, or an example of negative compounding from your life that you managed to overcome and how you did it. Anyone who would like to share from their experiences? No one. Manvi. Okay, yes, Toastmaster Manvi.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nigel, for bringing this topic as a theme. And while you were sharing about your friend's incident, that specific incident reminded me of one of the, I won't say my friend, but a junior and someone who was very close to me. She even was in Toastmasters few years back. We have been in touch from I think last 3-4 years now, and something that she usually do is as soon as she gets up, she has a habit of sending a good morning reel or a funny reel to me and to a group that we have on Instagram. And somewhat similar situation happened wherein she had only one of the parents, that was her mother, and she lost her. We didn't receive any reel for a long time. A few of us messaged her, but no response. And there were many, I would say, there was no response from her side. And as soon as she got back, the very first thing she said was, there were many people who messaged her, what happened, where were you? But no one tried calling her because she had a habit of sending reels on Instagram and no one messaged her on WhatsApp or called her. And that time I realized, even though social media connects us with people who are not close to us, specifically when it comes to distance, but how we usually ignore or how we usually take for granted the conversations that we usually have verbally, maybe while meeting with people or maybe while we are on a call or a Zoom call or a video call. So that was when I realized, even though messaging is important, but calling the close ones is also important. But because that usually shares the tone, and we even can get to know about what exactly the person is going through. So I realized this point at that specific moment. That was all from my side.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manvi, for sharing that experience. And as you already said, that is something I can completely relate to. And I know how much it, not about how much it hurts, but it's about how much we start, you know, blaming ourselves and how much embarrassing to ourselves it is. So that's something I can completely relate to. Anyone else, by any chance, want to share something? Okay, so we move forward, and so the purpose of sharing this incident, and thank you to Toastmaster Manvi for sharing one incident from our side as well. The purpose is that the question is not whether compounding is happening in our relationships. It is always happening, no matter what. Be it The question is, what kind of compounding is going on? Is it positive compounding or negative compounding? Are we investing in patience? Are we investing in kindness, appreciation, or are we unintentionally investing in things that are building the distance? So we would talk more on this question, on this theme. But before that, let us move to the next segment of our Toastmasters meeting, and that is the table topic session, wherein Toastmaster Suraj would be taking us on a roller coaster ride of some impromptu speeches. And with that, I would like to hand over the stage to our table topic master for today's meeting, Toastmaster Suraj, who also happens to be the Vice President Education of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, having served in multiple leadership roles before that, VP membership, VP secretary, VP education. This is his second term, and he's been one of the backbones of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. As always say, someone you can completely rely on, someone who is always there to assist you, to help you, to support you, to take the responsibilities when you are not around. And uh, he has also represented Toastmasters Club of Lucknow at area level in different contests. A great speaker, a great storyteller, and a great friend. With that, I would like to hand over the stage to our table topic master for today's meeting, Toastmaster Suraj. Toastmaster Suraj, are you there?
Am I audible to have?
Yes, you are, but I cannot see you on the screen. Is it just me, or like is the problem at my end, or in case anyone else can confirm?
You are right, Toastmaster Nikhil. There is some network lag from Toastmaster Suraj.
The screen is freezed from my end. I can't see.
Toastmaster Suraj, perhaps you can keep your video off and then try speaking. That might help you save some bandwidth.
Yes, I think so. Thank you so much. Once again, very wonderful good evening to all fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to the most unpredictable and fun-filled segment of this meeting, Table Topics. And in this next few minutes, I'll be calling a few of you, or maybe all of you, one by one on the virtual stage to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on any topic. Of course, that would be a surprise for you and all of you. Uh, Recently, I was just thinking about white table topics in Toastmaster meeting. So I got a very prompt answer, and you all of you must be aware about that as well, because why we do have the table topics in our meeting. Very simple. Life doesn't give us the script, and just to I think participating a table topic session is also learning how to live a life where we don't know about the future. So that was the thought I had, and that really fascinated me. Here are the timing I would repeat once again. The green at 1 minute, and yellow at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. During table topic, you will have a grace period of 30 seconds at the end of the 2 minutes, and I would encourage and request each and every one of you to use the word of the day as uh, many times as possible. That is unfettered, and here let this ground to be the place where you can develop unfettered confidence in yourself while practicing table topics. Now I would request anyone on the stage, or I'll just call one by one everyone, right? And of course, we do have a Toastmaster guest, so I really don't need to call anyone here to show the demo, because she's not just a guest. She has been the Toastmaster, and she is probably the Toastmaster, of course. So I would request her to come up on the stage and take up the topic. Toastmaster Vibha, are you there? Toastmaster Vibha, are you there? Okay, till the time she comes up on the screen, I would request another member, Toastmaster Manvi, to come up on the stage and take up the role. Toastmaster Manvi, please choose any number between 1 and 10.
This is more trickier than the topic that you can give, but the number I'll choose is 1.
Okay, okay, let's see. So your topic, Toastmaster Manvi. If you could improve just 1% daily in one habit, what would it be and why? If you could improve just 1% daily in one habit, what would it be and why? Toastmaster Manvi.
I'm not sure about one habit that I would love to improve, but I'm sure about one skill that I would love to improve and that I would even love to incorporate in my daily life. That is attentive listening and observing. Even though people say I do observe, even though we all observe and listen carefully, but eh, trust me when I say this, even if we are listening, we have a number of thoughts going on in our mind. What if, what is the intention of that individual? Why is he doing this? Why is she saying that? Is she nervous? Is she fine enough? Or whatever. There are a number of thoughts that are going on in our mind. But we just hear instead of to understand what exactly the person is saying. When it comes to attentive listening and observing, I won't say about observing, but when it comes to attentive listening, it is not about just scrolling your Instagram reels and staying over a call, or just texting a number of people and we are on a call, or we even are on Zoom call, video call, or whatever, and our mind is actually somewhere else. All these are mere formalities that we are there even if when we are not. So the only thing that I personally would love to incorporate in my life is more of attentive listening. Because to be precise, I am habitual of doing multitasking, wherein I stay on call, I just finish my document, I mail people, and whatever I do have in my to-do list, I just complete that. But on the other hand, there are times when we all need someone to hear us, when we all need someone to listen to what we are saying. And this nowadays is found very less, wherein we might have one or two people who listen and who understand, but not those, or I would say I even am not one of those. So, Toastmaster Suraj, this is not my habit, but what I would love to incorporate as a skill is more of attentive listening. What is that one skill that you would love to incorporate, Toastmaster Suraj? The stage is all yours.
Well, for me, I think for next 1 year, I would be working upon what should I say? Maybe public speaking, or maybe yoga, maybe fitness, because all these things go hand in hand for me. Without working upon any of these things, I don't want my day pass. Uh, well, attentive listening, one of the best skills you can ever have. I mean, the strongest and the greatest leaders of any time has this ability and the skill developed in themselves. Moving forward, I would request Toastmaster Prerna to come forward and choose any number between 2 and 10.
2 and 10. I would go for 6.
Okay. Toastmaster Prerna, do thoughts also compound? How does mindset shape your future? Do thoughts also compound? How does mindset shape your future? Toastmaster Prerna.
Okay. So if I talk about how does mindset compound your future, so it totally depends on you because the thinking matters. And from my personal experience, I remember once I was telling someone that if you are positive, the things are positive with you. And I totally forgot those lines of mine to implement in my life. And I started, taking things negative. And after sometimes I realized that I am getting mentally weak, wherein I should stand for myself mentally. I need someone to stand for me who can give me emotional support. But soon I realized that no, I need myself to be positive so that I can be emotionally strong. And after seeing some of my old pictures yesterday night, someone told me that, oh, this is the Prerna that you were. And I was like, yes, this was me. That Prerna who smiled without any fakeness, that Prerna who was very, very jolly and bubbly, has been transformed. I don't know why, what changed me, but Yes, something changed because maybe I was taking things very negatively. So yesterday I decided to be positive as much as I can and work on my emotional stability first because your mindset matters a lot. Over to you, Toastmaster Suraj.
Well, of course, it totally depends upon us how we can ensure that our thoughts. Of course, the thoughts will always compound, and it totally depends upon us. I had a story told by someone that in our mind there are two types of dogs, good dog and bad dog, right? The more you will feed the one dog, the less the another one will bark, right? So the basically the better thoughts we will feed our mind, I mean the good dogs, the less the that bad dog will bark. So that's one of the best thoughts, and the story someone told me recently. So thank you so much for taking up the topic. Now I would request um, uh, let's Toastmaster Akansha and Toastmaster Akansha.
But can someone time me?
Uh,
Okay.
yes. Okay, Manvi is there. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manvi. Okay, Toastmaster Akansha, please choose number between 1 and 10 except 1 and 6.
7.
7. Okay. Toastmaster Akansha, bad habits also compound. Which a small habit can quietly destroy success. Bad habits also compound, which a small habit can quietly destroy success. Toastmaster Akansha.
For me, the bad habit which I have is waking up late. For it is a bad habit in a way that it restrains me from many tasks which I could achieve in a 24-hour day. And it limits me, it reduces some hours of my day in which I would have otherwise done some added tasks. So it restricts me the from the good thing to happen. So that's one little bad habit which is compounding day by day, and I am trying to work upon it to get better at it. But this particular bad habit is compounding in a negative way for me. So, what is it for you, Toastmaster Suraj? Over to you.
Well, I have just jotted down on my pillow that please wake me up at 5 a.m. and let me tell you, it wakes me up, it awakens me every morning before my alarm, bells its ring. And I think it has worked very well for me. But for that, I have really worked a lot upon my pre-sleep ritual and pre-sleep habit, and moreover, the timing for the sleeping. So, well, I think instead of setting alarm early in the morning, if we can think of setting alarm when to sleep, that might help us. So, thank you so much, Tosma Kansha, for sharing that one habit which you think that destroy the other things of our life. And now I would request someone to show his or her unfettered courage and to come upon the stage. Okay, now the Toastmaster Jash is going to thank you so much, Toastmaster Jash, to remain unfettered, and because you were quite unfettered in terms while delivering your speech, and we would like to see you showing the same unfettered confidence in table topic session. So yes, please choose a topic except 1, 6, and 7 between 1 and 10. Oh, I mean,
Don't pressure on me by just praising me that much. But anyway, sorry, what were the options? How many numbers do I have?
1, 6, and 7 You have to leave, and other you can choose between 1 and 10.
Okay, 10.
10. Yeah. Toastmaster Jash, if you start today, where can you be in 5 years? If you start today, where can you be in 5 years? Toastmaster Jash. For any habit, anything.
Small habits make big changes. These little things that you do in your daily life, they matter. Waking up early, going to the gym, praying, socializing with your friends, working hard, coming back, taking a rest, meditating. These small routine, these small tasks, they add up and build a better life. My goal would be to continue doing these tasks and build these good habits and reach a goal that I want to achieve in those 5 years. Habits like staying active, habits like reading, exercise for my brain and exercise for my body. Body is a temple where your soul rests. So you need to nourish it, nurture it, and keep it safe and protected so you can achieve whatever goal you have. In 5 years, that's a long time. You can do it in 1 year if you're consistently doing it, following the regimen, following it dedicatedly. So whatever goal you have, it is these small habits that will help you achieve those goals. And it can be less than 5 years even. So just stick to it. And you can reach your goal with that. You can unleash yourself in that unfettered manner. Nothing will stop you. Just keep up to that routine. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing those habits. And of course, 5 years is literally a long duration, but again, what you can achieve in 1 year, I think you can be better if I think 10x or even 100x after 5 years. So for me, if you ask me that one habit, a small habit which maybe I practice probably less than a minute as well, that's moon breathing. And that I moon breathing, right? So that actually I got to know from one of the Toastmasters. She has been my mentor, and she is also my mentor right now, Toastmaster Smita, she taught me this moon breathing, and just before sleeping, it balances my thought and my mind, everything, and then that helps me enhancing my sleep quality as well. So yeah, that moon breathing has been the part of my pre-sleep habits. Now I would move next. Toastmaster Viva, can you listen to me? Are you there? Okay, I don't think she is there. Toastmaster Viva. Okay, I would request our general evaluator, Toastmaster Priya, to come up on the stage and choose any number except 1, 6, 7, and 10.
Number 3.
Number 3. Well, Toastmaster Priya, can one good decision change your life? Share an example. Can one good decision change your life? Share an example. Toastmaster Priya.
The one good decision that has changed my life, I can say it in a totally unfettered way, is joining Toastmasters. When I witnessed the first Toastmasters meeting as a guest and saw the vibe and the energy, I was 100% confident that I'm in the right place and this is a space that I want to be a part of. And I have never regretted my decision ever since that day, because in a very consistent way, step by step, with all the inputs from my mentors and colleagues and the evaluations, I have been able to move gradually in a compounded way and improving my journey of self growth, confidence, and as well as influencing others in a positive way, uplifting them through the art of poetry that I'm very passionate about. So I definitely feel that one needs to take a lot of decisions in life, but not all decisions can be correct to, at the very spur of the moment when we take it. Sometimes we make decisions which may be coming as lessons because they may not give the desired results. But this one decision of mine has reaped fruits and will keep compounding and giving me many more benefits. I'm sure you all have made such a decision in your life as well, which is making you all grow and move ahead in your journeys. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priya, for illustrating such a great take on this topic. And yes, joining a Toastmaster for you has been one of the best stories. Thank you so much for sharing. And I think most probably that has also made you unfettered for having hunger for self growth, right? So again, thank you so much. And next, I would like Toastmaster Vibha, just do let me know if you are there. I just don't know. Like you have joined for the very first time, so that I just want you to have a stage for some time. Next, I would call upon the stage Toastmaster Nikhil and Toastmaster Akanksha. Do let me know if we have time foundation. Toastmaster Nikhil, are you there?
Yes,
Yes.
Toastmaster Suraj.
You can choose any number between 1 and 10 except 1, 3, 6, 7, and 10.
5, is it available?
5, yes. Yes, yes. So most probably this topic is relatable to your profession.
Just a second. Toastmaster Suraj, just a second. Yes, please.
Okay. So maybe you might be the right person to speak up on this as well. I mean, Toastmaster Nikhil, imagine investing 100 rupees daily for 10 years. What would you sacrifice to stay consistent? Imagine investing 100 rupees daily for 10 years. What would you sacrifice to stay consistent, Toastmaster Nikhil?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suraj. And I'm still trying to figure out why you thought this was the right topic for me. But again, as we say, investing is all about putting in small amounts, as we've been talking about relationships, putting in small efforts consistently and continuously over a period of time, so that the outcome that we receive is much significant and much bigger than the efforts or the installments that we've been putting in. So if I have to put in 100 rupees daily, obviously there would be a lot of things that I will have to sacrifice. But given the kind of person that I am, the kind of thought process that I have, I always try to look at the bigger picture, and I myself invest in my, regular life, and I regularly invest. And the purpose is obviously to have a certain amount of corpus after, say, for example, 10 years, because as we grow up, at least I can speak for myself. I'm from a middle class family, and there have been a lot of dreams, a lot of desires that I had, which eventually my family, for the limitations that we had, were not able to provide. And this is not a complaint, this is reality. So the purpose is, there are certain desires that I still have. I want to fulfill them. At the same time, when I have a family, I want to ensure that the things that I desired but could not be provide for, I can take care of those desires or other desires that my family would be having, and can provide them with the same, so that they do not have to compromise as much as I did. So those are just few factors that drive my investment thesis, I would say. And what are the factors in your life, Toastmaster Suraj?
I would say factors are relatable to a great extent. So, of course, I think that must be there, and that's reality is relatable. So, of course, I think investment must be prioritized, considering the importance of investment and future saving. Uh, Moving forward, I would just ask Toastmaster Kancha, do we have more time to take up more topics?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'll request Toastmaster Sanket to come up on the stage. Okay, thank you so much. Toastmaster Sanket, please choose a number. You have 2, 4, 8, and 9.
I'll go with 8.
8. Okay. Any specific reason with it?
Like I consider 7 my lucky number, so that is closest to my luckiest number. That's the reason I went
Okay.
with it.
Okay, thank you so much. Toastmaster Sanket, who is one person in your life whose small actions created a big impact over time? Who is one person in your life whose small action created a big impact over time? Toastmaster Asankhya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suraj. Well, as thank you so much for the topic. As if I recollect or if I try to think who has been that one individual who has made the most amount of impact in my life, so it might not be it might not be one individual, but a collection of individuals who kept me sane or motivated or aligned to maybe realizing what I want to do and making sure that it's something. I'll say it's not something just one-way traffic wherein I am just they are just supporting me. It has been mutual all throughout, right from my early, I'll say childhood days, wherein my parents have been the biggest supporters. Even though during those times, I would say I was the rebel, or I was the one who was never agreeing to what they wanted me to do. But looking back, I can for sure connect the dots, and it's just about understanding, realizing that today wherever I am, it's because of whatever maybe the learnings I've been able to imbibe uh, uh, as growing up. So that is wherein I'll say it is bits and pieces, mix of all those who have been there closely, who know me, and who know not just the surface level Asankhya, but at the same time someone who I might be with without any filters. So those individuals I'm talking about, and that might be a lot of them. At every juncture of my stage, I can at least count few of them. Few of them have stayed for a very long duration, and someone says that if someone has been there with you for 7 years, then they become like your family. So that is where I can say I have a lot of family member here as well in this room. So it's about having those members who you can be yourself with, and that is wherein I feel if you have those individuals around you, that impact will automatically come into the picture. Like maybe not today but tomorrow, when you look at things, how that happened and how you took those calls and what that landed you to. So that's about it from my side. Who has that individual been for you, Toastmaster Suraj? Over to you.
Well, based upon context, I do have so many people in my life whose a small action has so many impacts. I mean, so much impacts in my life. And no doubt, I think there are several Toastmasters as well, right? Right from Toastmaster Club Lucknow and even from other club as well. So, and well, moving forward, I do have now one more member left. Dev Prashar, who has just joined. Dev, are you there?
Yes, Toastmaster Suraj.
Okay. So you have to choose any number, uh, amongst 2, 4, and 9.
You can give me any number that you would like.
Okay, let's go with the 9 number. Toastmaster Dev Prasher, consistency versus talent, what wins in the long run? Consistency versus talent, what wins in the long run?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suraj. Hello, everyone present here. Can I have a little attention from you and try to be consistent for 1 to 2 minutes till my take is done, so that you all can hear what I am going to say. I would just share a story with you. Like when I joined something for 6 months. Yes, you were 6 months, and I'm not going to reveal it till the end that what it was. So I subscribed for something for 6 months, and I was not aware of that what it is going to be. But I be like, okay, it's for 6 months only. I can just go and then cut off. That's it. But those 6 months when started, it was, I would say, hell confusing. Like, what is happening here? Why people are talking so much here? And why only a one person coming here doing 20 minutes of a theme, which not everyone is knowing about? And why someone coming up like a hunter and giving topics to everyone and they have to speak? Like, what is this going on? I don't really know. But then I try to be consistent and join every meeting. Like, there are four in a month. I was like, okay, then what hunt with, and then I realized that 6 months have passed. Now I have to renew, but I don't know if I want to be here or not. But then I have my people who forced me to renew because they knew that I will just run away. And then I renewed, and I would say it's 3 years now, and I'm still trying to run away, but I still have those people who are being consistent in keeping me here and making my growth a success. If you ask me that was I consistent? No, I wasn't. I was just consistent of running away. But my people were consistent to keeping me here, and I am here. So it's a success now because I am into leadership and I am speaking in front of you for 2 minutes. And congratulations, you were consistent in hearing me for till the 2 minutes. Thank you so much, and over to you, Toastmaster Suraj.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dev, for sharing this story of consistency. And it's really a very great take from your end, the way you have related the topic with your story. Thank you so much. I would request Toastmaster Smurti to come up on the stage and take up the topic.
Yes.
Okay. Toastmaster Smurti, time or money? Which compounds more powerfully in life? Time or money? Which compounds more powerfully in life? Toastmaster Smurti.
I hate when people post this unfettered question in front of me, weighing time and money parallelly in the same weighing scale. Why I am forced to choose one if I have the liberty to pick both in life? Let me tell you one thing which I strongly believe, that you cannot make a cloudy day a sunny day or a sunny day to a cloudy one. But what you can do is to embrace it and decide it's definitely going to be one of the most beautiful day of my life. So when I wake up, I evaluate the moment, I evaluate that day, and I evaluate the people in my life, and then decide if money will win the race or the time is more important here. I did have that situation way back, maybe 5 to 6 years back. I was on peak of my career, nailing and excelling every Excel sheets, every sales target given to me, working in India's one of the most renowned and internet-based company. I was just there after COVID, waiting for the highest appraisal of the entire southern region. when my partner decided to move to the US. I had money. Time was restricting. The money was at stake. Everybody knew. It was that unfettered silence in a relationship which we witnessed for the very first time. So I decided to take a pause, weigh the scale, and picked the time, and decided to take a pause in my career. And as I am standing here today, after that unfettered moment, I can happily say I did justice to the time when I decided to take a pause on the money and fly here to the US, where I feel Alice in the Wonderland. Other than that, this Alice was confused but now more equipped with public speaking skills. So, whenever somebody forces you to select between time and money, be unfettered. Select what's important in that point of time. Back to you, Toastmaster Suraj.
Insightful. Thanks for sharing your thoughts upon this topic. And with this, I would thank each and every one of you for participating in the table topic session. And I would hand over this test back to table Toastmaster of the day.
How can we directly hand over the stage to Toastmaster of the day when I am there and I am there to give table topic master a topic? Toastmaster Suraj, are you ready?
Ye- Yes, ready.
Okay. Toastmaster Suraj, what is one small gesture that means a lot to you in any relationship? What is one small gesture that means a lot to you in any relationship, Toastmaster Suraj?
Presence. Your presence, and it can be by any means. For example, I think just a message or just a call, or maybe through any like in-person meet. Like, see, presence, when I say presence, it doesn't mean that you have to keep in touch with me. No, not at all. It's okay even if someone who is close to me is not in touch with me for days, for months, right? But I have felt that even if I have not talked to any of my friends or any one of my relatives for months, but if I connect, the energy, the aura remains the same. So I want that presence, that invisible presence of anyone in my life. And it can be done by a small gesture, right? And what I really like in any relationship is that communication without word. And I do have several friends, like I just need to look at them and the communication has already happened in any terms, right? So I think when we reach certain situation, certain level in our friendship, in our relationship, so I do feel that you just look at each other, just have a good smile, I mean a smile, and or just look at each other, and I think the things are understood. So I think that is the one thing which I really like, the level of communication without any word. And that would be the best thing, if someone can develop with me, right? So it can be with anyone. And understanding your relatives, your friends, or anyone without telling, right, what you are going through is also can be the best gesture for me. So back to table topic master. I mean, okay. So back to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suraj, for such an interesting session, and thank you to all the participants. Can we please have a big round of applause for our table topic master as well as the participants, and also for Toastmaster Manvi, who never lets go the opportunity to grab the table topic master by their collars. But again, thank you so much, everyone. And obviously, I've been speaking a lot about positive compounding, negative compounding, and whatnot. But now I want to give this theme an unfettered direction and more like calling this meeting relationship gym, right? And I want to be the catalyst for you all to positively compound your relationships. So what I want you all to do, I'm going to call some of you one by one, and you will have to speak about some other member, or in case you are new, you haven't had a lot of interactions with other members, about someone from your personal life, and have to, you can appreciate them, you can complain about them. It completely depends on you how you want to add and I would say that's aspect of compounding in your relationship with that individual. So I hope the idea is clear. Okay, so let us start with the Toastmaster Smriti.
Do I have a timer for this?
No, just it's up to you. But I would request, in the interest of time, that all of us can keep it brief.
Sure. I would like to express my thoughts about Toastmaster Akanksha here. Well, I met virtually Akanksha when I decided to come to regular meetings of TMCL. The factor which I would highly uh, I want rather than compounding here, I see something called a butterfly or a domino effect. When you see something and you really feel it, then the vibe it compounds well. I feel that vibe from this particular beautiful lady which I see on my screen every Sunday, without even uttering any word, without even saying any sentence or strong opinion. I find her appearance, with respect to this virtual presence, very commanding, yet soothing. The best combination which I love in my personal life. Don't want to be biased, for especially for a woman who has a very soothing personality, yet a very commanding face on screen. So for that, thank you so much, Toastmaster Akanksha, for gracing the meeting always with your beautiful presence. Back to you, Toastmaster Nikhil.
Okay, so speaking of domino effect, let's follow it. Toastmaster Akansha.
So Toastmaster Manvi has always been there for me, even a little silly doubt. She never judges me, but she always graciously just keeps involved, and she just keep on telling what to do, what not to do. Like uh she's a lot, like more than a mentor to me. She's a friend as well. So yeah,
Okay,
over to you.
Toastmaster Manvi. Let's
I
do
would
it
give it to
quickly.
Toastmaster Suraj. Yes, I would give it to Toastmaster Suraj because if I am able to do anything in Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, that is because of his reminders, his consistent efforts. And to be honest, being the VP Education, he usually floats the roster and gets the role play, but then he reminds us of flyers, he reminds us of meeting links, he reminds us if there is any back out and even requests people, connects with people, not just in the club but outside the club as well. So, if I would say anyone in the XCOM is able to do anything in the club or in the meeting, that is just because of him being the backbone of the meetings and the club. So, thank you so much, Toastmaster Suraj, for helping all of us today. That was all from my side.
Over to you, Toastmaster Suraj.
Okay, following the dominoes effect, right? Okay, so well, for me, I think the journey has been so long till now in Toastmaster. So there have been so many people in Toastmaster itself, but I'll name a few one, of course, who have been very much consistent in terms of encouraging not just me, but also uplifting the Toastmaster Club of Lucknow. And again, Toastmaster Sankh is there, and I still remember one of my conversations with Toastmaster Jasprit, right? I just know that day I was just thinking that what to do next. But I think after having conversation with her, I decided that no, let's put in the best efforts which I can. And I think domino effect reverses as well. So I think Toastmaster Sankh and here Toastmaster Manvi, I think both of them have been very much consistent in terms of uplifting the meeting of Toastmaster Club of Lucknow. And why just two people I should name? I should also name the like person from other club, right? I have seen that the Toastmaster Club Lucknow has just two to three members from its own club, right? But the members from other clubs are joining, right? The UGI club. So again, Toastmaster Prerna is. I mean, and all of you. I think recently the way Toastmaster Smriti has taken up the stage and just to decided that no, let's help Toastmaster Club Lucknow. So see, I can name all of you, bringing different excuse and bring different story. But I think that's all from my end. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Suraj. And since you have covered everyone, now I'm not going to move this process ahead. I'm just kidding. But in the interest of time, let's just fall back to the flow of the meeting, and I would request our tech master to please launch the polls as well. And in the meantime, I would conclude my theme and would like to hand over the stage later on to Toastmaster Suraj for the closing remarks as a presiding officer. So obviously we were talking about the compounding effect, and I think we had a good exercise, which probably the credit goes to again Toastmaster Suraj for sharing an idea with me that how we can involve the participants in it. But it's been a great meeting, obviously. And before I give the closing remarks, I would like to call upon the stage our general evaluator and her team to evaluate the speeches, the evaluations, and the meeting as a whole. So with that, I would like to hand over the stage to Madam General Evaluator, Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Nikhil. Well, we are back to evaluate how the meeting went, what went well, where we need to improve. But I'm very happy to note that this meeting was conducted very smoothly with, of course, areas of improvement which we will highlight. But everybody spoke in a very unfettered manner and made the meeting so meaningful, so inspiring, and so uplifting. So a big cheers and a big applaud to all the role takers and participants in today's meeting. Well, without further delay, we'll begin with the prepared speech evaluation. Our prepared speaker was Toastmaster Jayesh, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Asankhya Mohan. Toastmaster Asankhya Mohan working with Emeritus on the corporate front and presently serving as District Chief Judge in District 124, Toastmasters International. He has taken up various club and district leadership roles. He became President's Distinguished Division Director, catering to the geography of Uttar Pradesh in the inaugural year of District 124. So request Zoom moderator to highlight both the target speaker and the evaluator. And evaluator, please note that your time for the evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. And congratulations, Toastmaster Jayesh, first of all, for successfully completing your level 1 project 2. And you talked about, so for me, usually in level 1 project 2, we define our purpose statement. As per my inference of the overall speech, I'll say this speech was about focusing on the positive. So you had structured. I'll structure my evaluation in three, if I may say, three positives and one area of recommendation that I have. Just like you shared three pointers, I would like to share my feedback with respect to your speech in a similar manner. You started with asking again. You made sure that the audience was there involved with respect to what you wanted to deliver. So you tried asking certain questions with respect to the overall speech. So great job in terms of great job in terms of making sure that you try to connect, understand, or make the audience inquisitive in terms of what you wanted to speak and make them think. And then you progress with stating what how you structured the overall speech in wherein you shared pointers. Specifically, you, if I may add, you mentioned about how to go about paying attention. You should pay attention to bad things, to pay attention to those things, how our mind gets triggered with respect to when we hear danger, disagreement, but at the same time how we can balance the positive with the negative. That was one of the takeaways for me. And even the last feedback, the last pointer that you shared was stay with the positive thoughts a little more. That might just help tailor your mind in a way wherein you focus not on the negatives but on the positives, and that can only be done consciously wherein you make those efforts. So that was my inference with respect to your speech. You even try to include certain anecdotes with respect to your overall delivery. So great job in terms of making the speech relatable for the audience. One thing I felt could have been a bit clear as to what's in it for me. The reason, the underlying objective that you are sharing the same with us, that would go a long way in helping us connect with your speech. That is something I was looking out for. It's good to share pointers or how we can effectively work upon focus on the positive sides, but at the same time, what is that underlying objective, that reason that you are sharing the same, that will actually make that all the more relatable with the audience. So that is one aspect. So whenever you are taking up a speech, I will request you to keep that in mind and do share the same if that's a possibility, because that is wherein you strike that chord and connect with the audience. Because for sure, just like Toastmaster Nikhil mentioned immediately after your speech, that this is something we all struggle with at certain junctures of our life. We might have even faced this wherein our maybe people around us or our mind is saying that this is something that won't happen, but it can only be like we can only reverse it when we focus on the positive. So that is something that is my 2 cents with respect to how you can make it a little more relatable for the audience. All in all, a great speech, a great structure, starting with questions, making it relatable by maybe structuring it in a manner wherein you had those takeaways predefined for the audience, and then lastly concluding it with your overall summary. So all in all, if you can just include this feedback with respect to trying to make it a little more relatable and share your why, that will help us strike or help us find our whys as well. That's about it from my side. General Evaluator, back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sankhya, for that crisp evaluation of the target speaker, Toastmaster Jay's speech. It was very well presented, your evaluation with three commendations and one recommendation. I fully agree with them. One small suggestion I would have is that when we are giving an evaluation, it is also like a mini speech. So while you had your intro and your body well placed, I think you had to shrink your summary, which is also a very important part of the evaluation speech and carries a lot of marks when you are participating in an evaluation contest. So do pay attention to how you summarize the evaluation and make it more impactful. So that's my suggestion. And Toastmaster Jayesh, for you, a couple of points. A very inspiring speech. Well done for fulfilling your project. You did amazingly well with your hand gestures, expressions, and a very relatable and relevant topic. Personally, I felt that you could have, while you have a very powerful voice and you did use pitch and pace well, you could have used your virtual space better. When you were talking about the positives and the negatives of the mind, you could have, spoken about the positive side on one side of your virtual space and the other. So you could adjust your camera in a way that you're a little more at the back so that your movement is also visible. You were right in front, you had eye contact, but there was no use of that virtual space. That can make your speech definitely go to the next level. And secondly, as pointed out, your call to action could have been more engaging with the audience, wherein what is it in for the audience could have come out better by asking them how they coped up with negative mindsets when they came across, or giving them solutions that they could adapt to, and come out of that negative frame of mind. So kudos to you, very well done, and look forward to you in hearing your future speeches. Thank you. Now I proceed further with the tag team. I would first of all like to call upon the timer, Toastmaster Akansha, to share her report, please.
Sure. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So the meeting started at 4:04 and the speech session was at 4:35. Table topic session started at 4:53 and evaluation session started at 5:41. Speaker Jayesh is qualified, has taken 7 minutes 22 seconds. Evaluator Toastmaster Asankhya went little bit overboard while evaluation. Then the table topic session, everyone is qualified. That's all from my side. Thank you and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Akansha. That was a very detailed report, even mentioning the start time of every segment of the meeting. That was a very observant aspect and included in your timer's report. So wonderfully executed timer report. Please paste it in the chat box for everybody's reference. And one small suggestion, Akansha, while I know you're a new member and taking up roles very actively and confidently, and it's a pleasure to see you speak so confidently in every role that you take. Just a small suggestion that do be mindful and mention the grace period for each speaker and the table topic speakers and the evaluation speech, so that they are aware what are the grace times before and after the qualifying and end time of the meeting. That's my only suggestion. I'll move ahead with the grammarian's report. Call upon Toastmaster Smriti to present her report, please.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Well, in interest of time, I'll share and paste the report, which is quite detailed and thorough. One thing which I loved about this particular meeting is the usage of rhetorical devices. And when I post the report, you will get to know, especially with respect to Toastmaster Nikhil, I guess, you have a very beautiful way of putting the rhetorical devices, and maybe you unconsciously made it your general way of saying too. So while I post the report, do spare some time to go through the same. With respect to the word of the day usage, I would like to give a shout out to Toastmaster Suraj. Reason being, he created that impact and that environment wherein people started using the word quite frequently after he encouraged each one of us. So thank you so much for doing it. Let me read out the names of the people or the Toastmaster who used it, which is Toastmaster Suraj, of course, Toastmaster Jayesh, Toastmaster Priya, Toastmaster Nikhil, and I used it. In case I missed your name, please do let me know. I'll definitely add the same in my report. Overall, with respect to the recommendation, as I said, we saw a very beautiful usage of rhetorical devices in this particular meeting. However, if we will add a bit more refinement to the structure, the language precision, the pronunciation, the impact will be more transformative and powerful. But thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters Priti, and I'm sure your grammarian's report is going to have a lot of detailed evaluation and observations about how we all did grammatically with the usage of words and phrases. So look forward to seeing that. One small request is that whilst you did explain the word of the day and pasted everything in the chat box, I think you missed giving the example verbally when you said the word of the day. So if you can just give one or two examples as soon as you say the word of the day, it registered better because I misunderstood it to be unfeathered instead of unfettered till I looked at the chat box. So just that small input. Thank you so much and look forward to your report. My last tag team member is the counter Toastmaster Prerna. Would request you to come and present your report, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Just a second. I'm presenting my report. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, starting with the presiding officer and the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Nikhil, he used more than 2 times. So, more than 2 times, and he repeated the word Coming to Toastmaster Priya, so Toastmaster Priya just used like 2 times. Toastmaster Suraj used more than 2 times. Well, 1 time, so more than 2 times, but 2 times, and he repeated the word and many times. Toastmaster Manvi used so more than 2 times. I haven't noticed mine, but I have used so, I guess, many times. So, coming to Toastmaster Akansha, she used more than 2 times, so more than 2 times, and but once. Toastmaster Zayesh used so 2 times. Toastmaster Asank used like more than 2 times. Toastmaster Dev used so more than 2 times and but more than 2 times. And Toastmaster Smriti used so more than 2 times and but 1 time. So that's all about my report. And I also want to say kudos to Toastmaster Jayesh as he was speaking very peacefully and I could say he was taking pause. So the filler words like ahs and ums were, reduced. So that's how we could speak, like taking the pause is the best way to reduce the filler words. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prerna, for that crisp and detailed report. Just one small input as the counter. I think all of us have to be mindful about the time and keeping time of a sense. When you see that the meeting is going in a very tight schedule and we are running over time, please share your report in the chat box instead of specifically reading out how each Toastmaster performed with the ahs and ums. That is my 2 cents to you. We'll quickly now move on to the table topic master and the table topic speakers. Well, the table topic master, Toastmaster Suraj, you did an amazing job. You had a very interesting set of topics and a very engaging way of, involving the people and asking them to choose a number and then suggesting the topic. So you engaged each and every participant, each and every member in this meeting and ensured that they all spoke in an unfettered manner with the wonderful choice of topics that you had. Just a few recommendations for you. One is try to keep the topics short and sweet because it is a little difficult to, understand the topic in one go many a times. So if you keep them short, it registers immediately, keeping in mind it's an impromptu topic and they have to start speaking immediately. Number 2, always paste your topics in the chat box with the name of the speaker to whom you've given that topic so that it becomes a reference point and the speaker can look at the topic if they have not understood the topic or missed out on some word. rather than asking you to speak it. But it was a very engaging session, and a big shout out to all the table topic speakers for speaking so in an unfettered manner, again, so confidently, so inspiring and engaging with personal anecdotes. It was very nice, but general input and observation to all the table topic speakers. Please treat your table topic speech as a mini speech and ensure that you start with an intro and a body and a conclusion. Loved everyone's, and I wish you all the best to keep participating in this manner in future table topic sessions as well. Now, the table topic master, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Nikhil. What an engaging theme of the meeting. Right from the beginning to the end, you ensured that you wove each person into the topics that you took up. You picked up a bit slow, I felt, in the beginning because you were talking about the topic more. So it felt like a monologue in the beginning. But as we moved into the session, I found you interacting more with the audience and loved the part where you got everybody talking about some other person in the meeting, what they loved. I just loved that. It was such a beautiful way of appreciating each other, uplifting each other, and showing how we have learned and how somebody else has impacted us in such a beautiful way. Well, if I was given a chance, I would have definitely mentioned each one of the Toastmaster Club member here who has made me feel special, made me feel wanted to come back in every meeting of the Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. So thank you very much. And for the presiding officer, Toastmaster Nikhil, you conducted the opening of the meeting very well. The Sergeant at Arms also, Toastmaster Kanksha, you did a brilliant job. So kudos to you for doing opening the meeting well. Overall, one last suggestion that I would like to bring here is the time. The time of the meeting, beginning time of the meeting is 4 o'clock. So I think we should honor that and also conclude on time. So this is where we need to be more mindful in future. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Back to you, presiding officer of the meeting, Toastmaster Nikhil.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator, for such a detailed and constructive feedback to all of us, and to your tech team for presenting your reports in such a effective manner. So I hope we all have taken our notes and will try to implement the same in the future meetings and future speeches, evaluations, and everything. So a big thank you on behalf of all of us to Madam General Evaluator and her team. So also, I would like to request all of you to please cast your votes as Techmaster have launched the polls for best table topic speaker, for best Eagle Eye role player. For your understanding, best Eagle Eye role player is the best auxiliary role player basically, and best Lionheart role player is for the best role player of the meeting. So in the meantime, everyone is casting their votes. I would like to conclude the theme for today's meeting. And so obviously we kind of had an activity which I call the relationship gym. And the relationships are eventually more like a gym only. And you all know that the biggest factor that contributes, be it in a gym or be it in relationships, is consistency. And that is eventually the real challenge. So obviously, one day of kindness or one day of doing something good is not going to earn you a friendship or a relationship. But just like hitting the gym, you won't get your six pack as by going to the gym only once. So it's all about consistency, about the small efforts done regularly and in the right direction, and the magic unfolds. So the next time you think of texting someone later or of calling someone later, you haven't in a long time, remember that either you are building a relationship or slowly you are putting that relationship on a maintenance mode, right? So let's choose to invest in relationships as well and not postpone such investments. And obviously, the best returns in life are not through investing, through monetary investments, I would say, but through investing in relationships, and that is what uh, supports you when everything goes haywire, right? So in the end, I would like to thank you all for being such a great audience and for engaging in the theme, engaging throughout the meeting, and help us conduct this meeting in such a smooth manner. With that, I would like to conclude my theme and open the stage for anyone who wants to share something, who wants to share your experience, your feedbacks. We have Toastmaster Vibha. We have Toastmaster Priya has already given her feedback, but it is still, I mean, in case, ma'am, you want to share anything.
I sincerely feel, since table, I have mentioned this earlier also, that since table topics is a major part of your meeting, you should definitely think of the table topic evaluator, because every table topic speaker needs some evaluation where they can improve, considering that, you all are attempting the table topics in every meeting. How you can further improve, that evaluation needs to be given. So please, try to accommodate that role as well in your meeting.
Definitely, ma'am. The point is well noted, and I think that is something we all have been pondering upon, Toastmaster Manvi, Toastmaster Suraj, and we'll definitely try to implement it in the future meetings. So, Toastmaster Manvi, do we have the results for the poll? Not yet.
I would request those three people who are yet to vote to please vote, because we have ties in two of the roles specifically. And I don't
Actually,
want to be the
I
tie-breaking
I
judge.
haven't
have not
found
voted, but
the poll.
yeah, I also
Okay.
haven't voted.
In
Yes, I
that
got
case, I'll
it.
request you to DM me if you are unable to do that. The tag team were Timer Toastmaster Kansha, Counter Toastmaster Prerna, and Grammarian Toastmaster Smriti. The main role takers were TMOD Toastmaster Nikhil, TTM Toastmaster Suraj, and General Evaluator Toastmaster Priya. TT speakers were I being the first one, Prerna, Akansha, Jayesh, Priya, Nikhil, Asankya, Dev, Smriti, Suraj. I think all the people who are there in the meeting spoke in the table topics. So if you are unable to see the polls, I request you to DM me your vote specifically. This Master Nikhil, the stage is all yours.
All right, so in the meantime, we uh, can. I would like to go to Toastmaster Vibha. I think she's been in the meeting, but we haven't really had a chance to interact with her. Toastmaster Vibha, would you?
She actually is joining in from the Noida Expressway Toastmasters Club. She is currently the president of the club, but she'll today be unable to unmute herself because she is suffering from throat infection.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll request you to please go ahead with it. But
No
thank you so much,
problem.
Toastmaster Vibha, for joining in.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vibha, and wish you a quick recovery. And we look forward to have you in our upcoming meetings, and probably we'll get to interact with you. So, anyone else who wants to share something as we are waiting for the final results of the polls? Toastmaster Prerna, Toastmaster Kansha, Toastmaster Suraj. I think we are already
Yes, I think
running late, but
I would
yes,
like to thank each
Suraj.
and everyone present here, first of all, for taking up and showing up here. One thing I could find something really interesting, that was the profound report by grammarian Toastmaster Smurti. So I'm just like, there were several terminologies as well. Like literally, I heard her mentioning all those terminology in the last meeting as well. So like, is it possible to have a session on grammarian report, like session on in the sense how to make a better report on grammar, right? I was just thinking, as soon as I saw the report, I would say that the report which I have been delivering in just one slide or two slide maximum. Here I have n number of slides, and that is so profound. I'm literally highly appreciate it. So I'm just thinking that how we can understand it in a more comprehensive way. So
And
thanks for the report, I would say.
and
That
and
was
just
quite
to
insightful.
just to add to what Toastmaster Suraj said, obviously Toastmaster Smriti, I mean, I myself was amazed with the detailing that went into that report, and probably more than the words or the phrases that we had used throughout the meeting, your report had more than that, honestly, and it was really amazing. And one thing that I want to highlight actually is be it Toastmaster Smriti, and I was observing Toastmaster Priya as well, two very seasoned Toastmasters that we have in this meeting. And since we have a lot of new Toastmasters, what I want to highlight is throughout the meeting, you could see that they were taking notes continuously. Obviously, they were having a role to play, but in spite of that, I mean, at least what happens with me is I somewhere lose myself into the meeting, even if I am playing a role. But this was something I really noticed that throughout the meeting, both of them were taking notes rigorously, and eventually the feedback that they shared is testimony to what they were noting. And I'm really amazed, and thank you so much to both of you for that, for such detailed feedbacks. And I think it's going to help us a lot, the all the members of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. Toastmaster Asankhya, I can see you have your hand raised.
Yeah, so I again second what Usman Suraj and Nikhil said. I thought of utilizing this time by the time the results are being finalized to finalize our agenda as well. For Toastmaster Suraj, I thought of maybe helping him in that regard. So Toastmaster Suraj, this is your the forum is open for you. You can invite volunteers for the upcoming meeting as well.
To add to it, we already have our TMOD finalized. That is
Yes, yes.
Toastmaster Prerna.
Good news for Toastmaster Suraj. Toastmaster Prerna has already taken the team on role.
Toastmaster Prerna looked shocked.
No, I think there's some technical issue. But again, so do we have the polls, Toastmaster Manvi? Right? Okay, so we can quickly have the certificates, the recognition segments. We are already 10 minutes late. So starting with that's the speaker. So we had only one speaker for in today's meeting, Toastmaster Jayesh. So no suspense there. Congratulations, Toastmaster Jayesh. Requesting you to please switch on your camera, and if we can take a snapshot. Toastmaster Jayesh, are you there in the meeting? Yes, he is there, but okay. So is someone taking the snapshot, or
I'll request you to please take it.
okay, just a second. Just a second, it's trying, but
I've taken the
okay,
screenshot.
Toastmaster Dev has taken it. Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Dev. Next up, we have Best Evaluator, Best TT Speaker. Okay, so there were quite a few participants. Almost everyone participated today. Thanks to Toastmaster Suraj. So the best TT speaker for today's meeting goes to Toastmaster Smriti. Congratulations, Toastmaster Smriti. Can we have a big round of applause for our best table topic speaker today? And can we please take a quick snapshot, Toastmaster Dev? Please let me know once you have taken it. Thank you, Toastmaster Dev. And next up, we have the best auxiliary role player, as we call the best Eagle Eye role player. That is the one of the tag teams, and it goes to timer Toastmaster Akansha. So congratulations, Toastmaster Akansha, and she is kind of building this knack of nailing each and every role that she's been picking up. So congratulations, Toastmaster Akansha, and Toastmaster Dev. Please let me know once the snapshot is taken. Thank you, Toastmaster Dave. And quickly we move to the last best Lionheart role player, and it goes to Toastmaster.
It goes to none other than Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Nikhil. Can we give a huge round of applause to Toastmaster
Toastmaster
Nikhil?
Manvi.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manvi, and thank you to all of you. With that, we conclude the recognition segment as well. And unless someone has something to say, I would like to hand over the stage to our Sergeant at Arms. So thank you so much to all the participants, Toastmaster Priya, Toastmaster Smriti, Toastmaster Prerna, joining us from outside Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, and our own members, Toastmaster Dev, Toastmaster Sankhya, Toastmaster Manvi, Toastmaster Suraj, Toastmaster Kansha. And in case I missed anyone, thank you so much to all of you for helping us conduct this meeting in such a smooth manner, and for contributing, for helping us learn from each other. Unless anyone has anything to say, I would like to hand over the stage to Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Akansha to officially close this meeting. Toastmaster Akansha. So
Okay.
you can just officially close this meeting and ask the tech master to stop the recording.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nikhil. In relationships, it's not about the grand gestures that matters the most, but it's the small, consistent acts of love that compounds into something unbreakable. With this, I officially adjourn the meeting 2:30 of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow.